Hello, my name's Hope, and I'm going to teach you how to make a hooded scarf. For supplies, you're going to need a 6mm hook, stitch markers, a darning needle, and some scissors. You can use any weight forward yarn. I am going to be using the Karen Colorama Halo yarn. And this part's optional, but you can add Faux Fur. I will be using the brand Loops and Threads. Now let's go ahead and get started by making a slip knot. Now you're going to go ahead and chain 4. Then you're going to slip stitch into that first chain. Now you're going to go ahead and chain 3. And then we're going to go ahead and start making our clusters. You're going to work into the center loop, and you're going to now place 2 more double crochets. Now you've made the first cluster, and we're going to now chain 3 and make another set of clusters. So we are going to place 3 more double crochets into the loop. Now you're just going to go ahead and repeat that process 2 more times until you have a total of 4 clusters. This is what it should be looking like. You're now going to go ahead and chain 3 and slip stitch to the top chain to close off the round. Now we're going to slip stitch over to the corner. That's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to go ahead and start round 2 by chaining 3, and then you're going to place 2 more double crochets. Now chain 3, and then place another cluster of 3 double crochets. You're going to go ahead and repeat this process all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end. Now we've made it to the end of round 2, you're going to just slip stitch to that top chain. Now slip stitch over to the corner. Now we're going to go ahead and start off round 3 by chaining 3 and placing 2 double crochets. Chain 3, and then place another set of 3 double crochets. Okay, so next we are going to work into this gap and place 3 double crochets. Now we're going to go ahead in the corner and work a cluster of 3, chain 3, and then another cluster of 3. You're going to go ahead and repeat this pattern all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end. Now we're going to go ahead and slip stitch to the top of the chains, and that will close off round 3. You're going to go ahead and repeat this sequence all the way until you reach row 8, and as you go, you're going to notice that the size of your square gets bigger and bigger with each row. I'm now just finishing up row 8, and I'm going to now slip stitch to the top chain to close off this round. Now you're going to go ahead and slip stitch over to the corner. 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to want to pull yourself a long tail so that we can sew the panels together. You can go ahead and pause and make your second square without the long tail end. Next, we're going to sew both panels together on 2 sides. So now that we have both panels done, you're going to want to flip them right side inwards so that the wrong side's facing out. You're going to go ahead and thread your darning needle with that long tail end, and we're going to go ahead and sew both panels together on 2 sides. And I like to go into the second chain of the corner. Here's a better view so you can see that second chain I'm talking about. The way I like sewing my panels together is by grabbing the outer loops of each side of the stitches. You're going to go ahead and finish sewing both sides together until you reach that second chain I referred to earlier. Now that both sides are sewn together, you're going to see that it just leaves a very clean line. We're going to go ahead and do one more row of clusters. We're going to attach our yarn right next to the seam. And I like to do just a simple double knot. We're going to go ahead and chain 3 and place a single double crochet. Now moving on to the next space, you're going to place 3 double crochets. You're going to go ahead and repeat this process all the way around, making sure that once you hit the corners to do a cluster of 3, chain 3, and another cluster of 3. I'll go ahead and meet you at the end of this row. Now we've reached the end of the row, you're going to place 2 double crochets in that last gap. Second one. Now we're going to slip stitch to the top of the chain. Now you're going to chain 1, pull your tail and cut, and then you're just going to weave in your end. Now the hood is finished. If you have any ends that you want to weave in, you may do that now, and we're going to go ahead and start on the scarf. Starting off with the scarf, you're going to make a slip knot, and you're going to chain the length that goes past the width of your arms. So you'll chain about 75 to 80 inches. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and double crochet into the 4th chain from your hook. And from this point, you're going to go ahead and double crochet into each stitch all the way down until you reach the end. Now I'm just going to go ahead and place my last 2 double crochets. Now you're going to go ahead and chain 4, and the chain 4 counts as a double crochet in a chain 1 space. Turn your work. You're going to skip 1 and place a double crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, skip a stitch, and place a double crochet in the following stitch. You're going to go ahead and repeat this pattern until you reach the end. As you reach the end, you may notice you have another extra double crochet. You're just going to go ahead and place another double crochet on top of it. So now we're going to go ahead and chain 3, turn our work, and now we're going to start by doing a double crochet on top of the double crochet from the previous row, and then we're going to place another double crochet over the chain 1 space. You're going to go ahead and repeat this all the way down until you reach the end of this row. In the last gap, you're going to place 1 double crochet, and then you're going to place another double crochet into the 3rd chain. Now starting off row 4, you're going to go ahead and chain 3, you're going to turn your work, and you're going to double crochet into every single stitch all the way down until you reach the end. Now I'm just finishing up the last couple stitches of row 4. And make sure you place that last double crochet into the top of those chains. To start row 5, you're going to chain 4, turn your work, and that chain 4 counts as a double crochet in a chain 1 space. You're going to go ahead and skip 1 and place a double crochet into that 2nd stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, and then place a double crochet into the following stitch. And you're just going to repeat this all the way down until you reach the end. Again, remember to place that last double crochet into the top of those chains. Finally, onto the last row, you're going to chain 3, then turn your work. place a double crochet into that first stitch, and then place a double crochet over the chain 1 space. You're going to repeat this all the way down until you reach the end. Now I'm just finishing up the last couple of stitches, and do not forget to place that last double crochet in the top of those chains. And so far, this is what it should be looking like. You're going to chain 1, pull up your yarn and cut it off, and just weave in your tails. And now we're going to go ahead and attach our scarf to the hood. You're going to start off by folding your scarf in half and laying it up underneath your hood. And make sure the opening of the hood is facing towards the tails of the scarf. You're going to go ahead and take your stitch marker and attach it to the back of the hood and the folded corner of the scarf. Then you'll place your second stitch marker at the corner of the hood to the scarf. You'll then flip the scarf and repeat the same thing to the other corner. Next, we're going to go ahead and sew the scarf to the hood. You can sew them together however you like, but I'm using the same method as I used earlier to sew both panels for the hood. Once you're finished sewing the panels together, you're just going to weave in your ends. So now you're actually done with the base of making the hooded scarf. Now what's left is to add the fur. So with adding the fur, all we're going to do is single crochet along the scarf and the brim of the hood. Go ahead and grab your fox fur. If your fox fur is thick like this loops and threads, what you're going to do is go ahead and pull it apart. What I normally do is just grab a bunch of the yarn, cut it, and then pull all of the strands apart and tie them together. And now I have my nice little pile of single strand fox fur. You're going to go ahead and attach the fox fur to the bottom corner of the scarf. And I just end up double tying it onto the scarf. Now, making sure you're working over the tail end, you're going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And once you hit these corners, you're going to single crochet here and then single crochet in this gap as well. And you're going to repeat the same thing to the other side and crochet all around the edges. Once you reach the end, you're going to slip stitch back to the beginning, and you're going to chain 1, pull up a loop, cut the yarn, and sew in your ends. Now, once you make that last little snip, you are actually done with your hooded scarf. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know how you plan on styling your scarf.